Right folks, welcome back to blog number 2 in relation to this property here over my shoulder, and it's in relation to Mary Callan, who was murdered back here in Farrett, Farrett or Kilcurry, or whatever you want to call it. There's different names for different locations, and we're right in the middle. It's only a small village, and it's Farrett, I think. Farrett, could be Kilcurry, but there's different names for different ages, and they're all so close to each other. But anyway, in relation to this story that I'm going to tell here, I have been here before. I'm going to try and do it as quick as I can. In relation to Mary Callan's murder back in 1927. Here's a picture of Mary Callan now. And before I give a quick story, I'm going to give a slide shot of all the photographs in relation to this as soon as I finish my story here, and then we'll move on to our next stage. Mary Callan worked for the priest of Father James McKeown here in 1927. So did Gerard Toll. He was working for the priest, Father James McKeown, as well in 1927. Gerard Toll came into the situation. Father James McKeown took him in under his belt in 1927 as a handyman working for the priest, and he also lived in this house along with Mary Callan. But Father James McKeown was a strict priest, and he wanted everything done to proceed, and he had strictly conditions that if they came working for Father James McKeown, they had to be in by 10 o'clock. That was the conditions. Gerard Toll was a bit of a cowboy and a bit of a blackguard known around Dundalk, so that's why Father James McKeown took him under his tea. But there was a lot of unsolved murders in that year, and all fingers point to this property here in 1927 for Gerard Toll, because nothing ever happened around here, but nobody could prove it that Gerard Toll had anything in relation to the murders that happened in this location. But 2 murders did happen, and with my investigation, when I looked into it, and all fingers do point to Gerard Toll, but some of the locals around here, some of the old locals back here, do not want to talk about it. They want bygones be bygones. But it's a story that I think should not be forgotten. Gerard Toll worked for the priest here in 1927 as a handyman. But Mary Callan, she was the landlady, we would call her. She was the housemaid, and she kept the house in tip condition back here in 1927, and also her job was to keep the church in maintenance as well, along with Gerard Toll for funerals and weddings and christenings, etc. But Mary Callan was seeing a young McCardle lad up the road here back in the year 1927, and Gerard Toll didn't like it because he had a bit of a fling for Mary Callan. But what happened is she was out on a date night with Mr. McCardle one night, and it was lashing raining, and they were coming home, and Gerard Toll locked them into the shed as they went into it, and he locked them in after the hours 10 and 11. He let them out in because he knew that she would get in trouble, because the priest had strict conditions that she had to be home here by 10 o'clock each night. But that's where the trouble started. Gerard Toll was a bit of a blackguard. When you ask the locals of the story who was Gerard Toll, they said Gerard Toll used to be climbing up these big high trees at night time, and as you walk down the dark roads in the winter time, to show him here that he'd be up on top of it, and he'd be swinging, he'd be throwing stones, and he'd be whistling. That's a kind of a blackguard he was back in them times. But in the year 1927, Mary Callan went missing from this property. A big search party went out looking for her, and it was all kind of hush-hush back then times, and all fingers pointed here. And I think Gerard Toll was convicted of Mary Callan's murder back in 1928. But before all that started, let me tell you one thing that I have done. When I've done my investigation here, I think there should have been more investigation in relation to Father James McKeown and Gerard Toll. So Gerard Toll was hanged for the murder of Mary Callan. But when I done my own investigation here in relation to this story, the story goes that when Mary Callan went missing out of this property in 1927, a big investigation went on. They couldn't find her. But in the year 1928, it all started to unreveal, and this is what happened. A young girl called a young girl called Bridget McLaren. She was only an 8-year-old girl that lived across from the graveyard from this chapel. Her mother and father sent her out to gather sticks for the fire. That's her there now. That's a picture of the young 8-year-old girl. She went out to gather sticks from the fire. In the papers, it says that she fell into the quarry 75 foot and she drowned. No, you got this wrong, guys. Because when I did my investigation, I was talking to an old man in this locality, and he said to me that his father said to him that the young girl, Bridget McLaren, I might get the surname wrong, but it's Bridget McLaren. The church is even named after the child that's said in the papers that fell into the quarry. But it's wrong. She went out gathering sticks for the fire for her mother and father, and she's supposedly to come back to her parents and says that she's seen Gerard Toll pushing a wheelbarrow through the graveyard of the chapel, which I'll show you in part C, and she's seen him wheeling something and throwing it into the quarry 75 foot deep. Mothers and fathers said to Gerard Toll, "See you doing it?" And she said, repeated, "Yes, he did." A number of days later, that girl disappeared. And a search party went looking for her. So the parents told the guards and the fire brigades the story, and they sent a fire brigade out to the quarry to drain it, and behold me believe they found the child's body in the bottom of the quarry, and they said that she slipped in. No. Gerard Toll seen this girl watching him throwing the body of Mary into the quarry, and this is how it all started. And if you can picture the wee girl and Gerard Toll kidnapping her and killing her and throwing her into the quarry, so that his story would not be unrevealed. And I said, "Are you sure about this? I thought the girl was found." And no, the man says no. He says the girl spotted Gerard Toll throwing the body into the quarry, and Gerard Toll, a number of days later, kidnapped her and killed her and threw her into the quarry. But when Mary's body was discovered as well. So let me see. When they found the child of Bridget, when they drained the quarry, there was no other signs of any body of Mary McCann, Mary's body in it. I forget her surname again, but Mary's body was not found in it, but the young child's body was found in it. Questions started to be asked about Gerard Toll, but they could not pinpoint. They couldn't say that he did or he did not do it. But Mary McCardle, I keep forgetting the name now because there's so many names to think about it. But numbers of weeks later, her body did appear up in the water, and they sent the fire brigade out and the guards. When they pulled the body in off, it was wrapped up in a corn sack and tied up with a shirt. When they pulled the body in off the quarry, her body was dismembered. Her head was taken from her body, her arms was saturated. She had a brutal death. And then question says the child was right, that was what happened. So they did an investigation in this property up here. They did a search warrant in this house, and they found Mary McCardle's they found her bicycle parts in Gerard Toll's bedroom, and they started to question Gerard Toll, but Gerard Toll says that he did not kill her. But there was a local man worked here for the county council, and he passed this area up beside this house on the morning they found Mary McCardle's body, and they says that there was some other man beside Gerard Toll before they were rooting through the sheds. They were very nervous, and we know who that was. That was the priest, Father James McKeown. But they arrested Gerard Toll, and they convicted Gerard Toll for the murder of Mary, and he was never convicted of the murder of young Bridget. So that's roughly the story. Now let me take you to the quarry next, okay?
In May 1927, in a small town in County Louth, Mary Callan, the priest's housekeeper, went missing. Her young colleague, Gerard Toll, was the suspect. There was no trace of Mary Callan for over a year, until a body was found in a quarry located 500 yards from the priest's house. Years ago is a long time, especially in a very small parish in the smallest county in Ireland. This parish is famous for two things: St. Bridget and one of the most grisly murders of the 20th century. Mary Callan was found dead in a bag in Falmore Quarry in May 1928, over there. Gerard Toll was raised an orphan in Artane after being caught stealing from a store in Dundalk. Father James McKeown of Fart gave the young man a second chance after hiring him as a handyman around the parochial house. Jackie and Mary Callan bought the house from the church in 1988.
I've been working here in this house down through the years for years, and it was no, you were always listening to rumours and listening to different conflicting stories and tales about the place, that you just let a lot of it over your head. And as a youngster, I worked here during the time of serving my time at the painting, and I worked here at night on my own, even I worked at different stages, so it was no new coming to here in a way from myself.
I never really had a fear, and I still don't have a fear. Now, I would be scary of the living, or not scary of the dead.
Toll was renowned for being a prankster, and some of the stories about his pranks are still remembered today.
He was only 18 years of age. He was a bit of a prankster. He was a terrible thing to be at that time. He was an outsider here in the country. He knew a bit more than the other lads around. You know, for instance, my father could tell me, my mother could tell me, they often saw him walking past our house there on stilts, which was something completely different, you know. He could do jiu-jitsu, as they called it at the time, a sort of a karate now, you know. Who else could do that in the country at the time?
When he'd leave the priest sometimes at the station, he'd take the car home. The priest would have him take the car home, and he had a collar, a Roman collar in his pocket, and the priest would have a hat in the back of the car. I don't know how the hat would come to be there, right? But apparently there was a hat in the car. Maybe the priest had two hats, I don't know. But Jerry come driving the car home, have the hat on and the collar on, and sure the people in those days they'd always salute the priest, you know. So they'd be saluting the priest, and the ladies would be bowing and so on. And like they'd see this big car coming, they'd know the car all right, and so they'd be, I suppose that maybe before he'd be properly gone by, they'd have realised what was going on. So Jerry be enjoying it and so on. I was an awful villain too for a night. The priest was a guard to the crows below the rookery. He could climb trees, no bother, run up like a monkey, and go from one to the other. Well, I don't know about too much of that, but he'd move eggs from or the fledglings from one nest to the other, you know, and the crows would go lamented, and the bill priest would be worried about what's wrong with the crows, Jerry, and that, no father. And he was that kind of a guy now.
It is common knowledge that Gerard Toll and Mary Callan had a frayed relationship. A neighbour recalls what he believes to have been the moment when this petty feud turned sinister.
Mary was doing a line with a fella called Joe McCarter from over the road, and a night or two nights before this event, they were out walking around and it was raining. So when they came back, they decided to stand into the garage out of the rain. It wasn't usual for a priest's housekeeper, or any young one indeed at that time. The priest's instructions were she was to be back before 10. And that was law. And on this particular night, of course Jerry knew that, and Jerry happened to see them going into the garage. My father told me. So he locked them in the garage and didn't let them out until, I don't know what time, but maybe an hour after 10 o'clock, you know. So my father always felt that this, the next day or the day after, whatever it was, might just have created a bit of a row between Mary, the girl who was murdered, and Jerry. Of course, Mary was much older than him.
Almost 12 months after Mary's disappearance, the remains of her body were found in a corn sack, tied by the sleeve of a shirt at the bottom of the eerie Falmore quarry. The body was badly decomposed, and the limbs and the head were severed completely from the torso. Suspicion fell on Gerard Toll after parts of Mary's bicycle and watch were found in his bedroom.
Why would any man carve up his victim. Why would any man do such a thing, only that there was something terribly wrong with him? He obviously had to be a serial killer.
Local rumour has it that Gerard Toll has been accused of committing several murders in the parish around that same time. 8-year-old Bridget McLaren was taken from that very same quarry just 2 months before Mary's disappearance.
Again, when we pressed my father, who, remember, was living here always, on top of the hill, knew Jerry, knew the priest, knew everything. He was next door. There was no other houses on the road. By nature of his work, which was a gang with the county council, he would be out on bicycle up and down the road. He wasn't working in a field, you know. So, the day after the murder, and we were saying to him, well, what happened, or did you see anything? And he said, well, the day after the murder, I was coming up the road past the priest's house, and Jerry was standing out at the back of the sheds, out of sight of the house, with another man. And so we, of course, curiosity completely took over, and who was it? And he said, that's all you're hearing. At the very end of his trial, of course, he was asked, had he anything to say, and he said, well, there are other people who have more to lose than I have. Maybe the truth is hidden in the folklore, you know.
Gerard Toll was charged only for the murder of Mary Callan and stood trial in 1928. After the jury's request for a manslaughter verdict had been rejected, Toll was found guilty of murder. At 8 a.m. on August the 29th, 1928, Gerard Toll was escorted to the execution chamber, and without any resistance, Gerard Toll was then
the house
hanged.
where it all happened, and I just have to remember her name. It was Mary Callan, and that is the church where Mary Callan worked for Father James McKeown. So I'm going to do a quick walk around the graveyard, and I'm going to show you where it all happened. So Mary Callan worked here for the priest Father James McKeown in the year 1927. So just going to turn around the camera here. So I was actually speaking to a lady in the graveyard there a few minutes ago, and I explained the story to her, and I explained the situation that happened before, and she says, sure, you're doing no harm, she says. And she says, the priest that is looking after this church, he's a foreign priest and he wouldn't have a clue about the history. So what I want to do is I want to show you the graveyard now, and see can we find her grave. What's Bridget? See can we find it? It should be in the old part of the graveyard. So we're just going to see can we find it first, and we'll show you the quarry then, and then we'll move on then. Also in this quarry, Thomas Kean Drummullah died the 17th of October 1932, and his wife Elizabeth. And John died on the 3rd of July 1975. John also took his life. You can see it there. Now also, there's a story goes as well that John Keegan in 1975 was seen parked outside the quarry as well, and his keys of his van were found on top of this grave, and he jumped into the quarry and he took his own life as well. So there's actually 2 committed suicides. Not only have we the murder of Mary Callan and Bridget, we have 2 people who committed suicide as well in that quarry. It's drained now. So what I'm going to do is going to turn around and see if we find Bridget's grave, and then we'll show you where it all happened. So this is the old part of the grave. So if Bridget was to be buried in the old graveyard, that is that's the grave of the man that took his own life. If Bridget's grave is going to be, they said it'll be on the old side of the graveyard, but I don't see it anywhere. But I'm going to walk through it anyway and show you as quick as I can. It wouldn't be on the new one, it would be on the old one, so it would be here somewhere. Well, we'll do a little lap around it and we'll have a quick look around. The woman says that if it was 1975 it should be on the old side, but this is the old side of the graveyard now. I was trying to see, can I find it myself? 1920, I have it, I found it, believe it or not, I found it, guys. You wouldn't believe it. You wouldn't believe it, I found it, and the last time I was here I couldn't find it, so I did find it. Here we go, I did find it, you wouldn't believe it. I'm delighted I found it. So here we go, look at it there, look. There you go, there's Bridget. Died in 1927, 8 years of age. And that's her grave. You can see it there. And you know, the last time I came here I could not find her grave. But anyway, that's Bridget's grave, you know. She died in 1927, 8 years of age. And Bridget was the young wee girl who saw Gerard Toll thrown the body into the quarry, and her body was found in the quarry that year as well, in 1927. Her body was found in 1927, but Mary Callan's body was found in 1928, and that young girl there, Bridget, seen Gerard Toll thrown that body into the quarry, and he killed this girl as well, just because she was in the wrong place at the wrong time. She was only 8 years of age, but Gerard Toll was never convicted of the crime, and it was all hush hush. So that's it there. I'm going to try and turn on the spirit box for a second, just because I found her. I'm just going to let it load up there for a second, but I'm delighted I found Bridget's grave there now, because we've been here numbers of occasions and we can never find it, and I just wanted to let the phone and we'll just do a quick spirit box in relation to Bridget and see can we get the wee child of the wee girl to come forward. I know the last time we did come here I couldn't find it, but I found it this time. That's definitely it, 8 years of age, 1927. So I'm just going to turn around the camera now, and we're going to do a quick spirit box session, just see can we communicate with Bridget. And you know, when you're trying to put something together, it's always the case, you're trying to do it and it doesn't work. So it's loading now. Takes a couple of seconds to load. So it's loading there, you can see the app is loading on the phone. So we're just going to let this app run right towards the quarry and see what we pick up. So it's on now. We're just going to try and turn it up, guys. For some reason it won't work for me. Okay, it's on now. So we'll give it a go and see. If the spirit of Bridget is around us, my name is Philip.
Those all right.
I mean no harm, Bridget. I'm just trying to tell people your story in relation to your death in 1927 in the quarry beside this graveyard. Is your spirit around us today, Bridget? And for some reason that has stopped as well, guys. For some reason that has stopped. It did work for a minute. Okay, it's back again. Okay, it's back again. Let's hope it doesn't cut off this time. But that is the grave of Bridget, who was murdered by Gerard Toll in 1927 in the graveyard here beside us in the quarry. Bridget, is your spirit around us today? My name is Philip. Can you try and come forward and tell me? Did Gerard Toll murder you in the year 1927? And again it knocked off, guys. For some reason the spirit box is just playing poke. So we found Bridget's grave, you know. I'm delighted we found it. And that's the wee girl that went out to get her the sticks to light her fire. And she spotted Gerard Toll pushing the body of Mary Callan through this graveyard and throwing her body into the quarry. So I'm delighted we found her grave anyway. The spirit box is playing puck for a few minutes and it's doing it again, so I don't know why it's doing it. It only lasts for a couple of seconds and then it knocks off for some reason. So we'll try it again. It just keeps knocking off for some reason. And it shouldn't be doing that. So no thanks. We'll just try it again one more time. Shouldn't be doing that. Bridget, are you here? Can you say hello to Philip?
I heard you.
Did you hear that?
You're sending.
I heard you, it says.
Yes.
Did Gerard Toll murder you, Bridget?
Yes. Okay.
Wow. Did you hear that? Did you hear that? The spirit said yes. The spirit said yes to that. You couldn't get a better response than that, could you? No way could you get a better response. That's absolutely a wonderful device. Wonderful. Never got a response like that before. For some reason the app is just playing puck with me. It is scanning through again. Just let me see, can I hear it? It is scanning through, so we'll try one more time. Yeah, we did hear yes in it. Bridget, can you come forward again for the last time? Bridget, are you still with me? The device is playing puck. Bridget, can you come forward please? One more time and tell me. So the device knocked off again, guys. Don't know why it's knocking off. Don't know why the device is knocking off on me. You should never do that. But just for some reason when I go near Bridget's grave, it keeps knocking off. And and I don't know why it's doing it. It used to never do it before. So we're just going to put it on again. So when we went to the grave and we asked Bridget, did Gerard Toll murder you? And the answer we got was yes. I thought that was quite amazing, to be honest, you know. We'll try it again, and if it knocks off, it knocks off.
You have a No.
Bridget, are you here with me? Are you still here? So every time I say, are you here? It knocks off again, guys. For some reason. Don't know why. Bridget, are you here with me?
I can't remember.
My name is Philip. I mean no harm to you, Bridget. I'm just doing a story in relation to Gerard Toll's murder on Mary Callan, and believe that he murdered you as well in 1927. You're 8 years of age, and you were getting sticks for
Thanks.
you were getting sticks for your mother and father. So for some reason, that app today is just knocking off, guys. And we're just going to leave that there and we'll walk away from it. So that's the story anyway of Bridget. We found her grave and you see what happened there. So we're just going to walk you down where Gerard Toll was seen. Bridget seen Gerard Toll walking down with the wheelbarrow. And we're going to leave the area then, guys, to a different location. So this is the area here where Gerard Toll, where Bridget seen Gerard Toll wheeling the wheelbarrow of Mary Callan down here. I'm just going to show you this area, and then we show you the quarry then. So this is the area here where Gerard Toll was seen by that young girl up here. And that's the quarry, guys, and there's photographs of the quarry, what it looked like back then. You can see it. So let me take you to the quarry next. See you in a few minutes. Right folks, so we've done where the priest, Father James McLaren house. We did the house. We're just after doing the graveyard. I showed you the location where Mary Callan body was brought through the graveyard, and where the young child across the road from over around that direction, Bridget, seen Gerard Toll throwing the body into the quarry. We found Bridget's grave. We asked the spirit to come forward. Did Gerard Toll murder you? And the answer response we got was amazing, was yes. So now I'm going to show you a bit of the quarry, a quick spirit box session, and then we move on to our next location. So I'm delighted I found Bridget's grave, and I'm delighted that we got a response, yes. And let's hope I can put a good video together now in relation to the response. So let me show you the area now in relation to the quarry. So this is the quarry here. In its time, there was 75 feet of water here in this quarry, and in different locations. So you can see it here. That is where the quarry was at its time. You can see it, which is like a lake. And the river, there's a river actually running along it here, but at one stage there was 75 feet of water in here. You can see it there. There's a fair big drop down there, you can see it there. So we'll bring you up here another bit here and we'll show you. Just show you some of the quarries here. And as we show you the quarry there, take a look there, and there's some photographs going along with it, what the quarry did look like in its time. And you can see on Garda Síochána and the fire brigade pulling the body off Mary Callan out of the quarry. You can see that there now. Right. So we'll move over here, and we're just going to show you this quick video here in relation to the quarry. Just come over here. So we're just going to bend down right down here. So as you can see there, guys, let's that is the graveyard over there. You can see it. And there used to be a little walkway coming down from this side of the chapel, the church, along here back in 1927. This used to be full of water, and there used to be 75 foot of water just here, in these holes here. You can see it, look. There was 75 foot of water in here. You can see it. And that is where the young child Bridget seen Gerald Toll throwing the body of Mary Callan. And Bridget used to live across the road here back in 1927, and her body was found here. They said that the paper says that she walked into the quarry and she drowned. And if you put one and one together, she's seen Gerald Toll throwing Mary Callan's body off a wheelbarrow into the quarry. She went back and told her mother. A couple of days later, she went missing, and then they found her body in 1927 in the quarry, and in 1928 they found Mary Callan's body here as well. So let's do one spirit box session here, and then we'll move on to our next location. Now, when we did open the spirit box session back in the graveyard inside Bridget's grave, it was cutting in and out. Let's hope that we get one here now. So let's do one now. Quick one now, guys, and we'll turn the spirit box.
From work.
Spirits, my name is Philip. I believe that this is the location where Mary Callan body was found in 1928 in relation to Gerald Toll.
Because she's up.
Bridget, she was 8 years of age. She was pulled out of this quarry also. I believe that Gerald Toll murdered.
Flying.
And that's knocking off again. Gerald Toll murdered Jude as well. There was also two young men.
How about?
Two young men.
Too early.
There was also two men that committed suicide here as well, in this location. Two young men.
Computer. I thought you that old.
So we just finish it off here now, guys.
Where would you like?
Any spirits wish to come forward? And that one used to never knock off, but it's knocking off now. Mary Callan, is your spirit here in this quarry? So the word work, is that work came through. Is that in relation to the man that was going to work and committed suicide in this quarry? Two young men actually committed suicide in this quarry, actually. So 4 bodies were pulled out of this quarry over the years. So we're just going to ask this spirit of Mary Callan here. Mary Callan, are you with me now?
I don't.
Mary Callan, are you with me now?
If there's a
Mary Callan, are you with me now? Right, guys, so it's time to move on to our different location. That's the story of Mary Callan and Bridget and Gerald Toll and Father James McGowan. We hope you like that story. So please like and share. Now I've to be in Dundalk by 3:30, so we've time to do another one. So see you in a few minutes, guys, and I hope you're enjoying it.